Hey guys, what is up? This is Marcus, and today I'll be bringing you a short video on how to farm the Loremaster if you're deaf. Now, Loremaster farming can get very frustrating because the drop rates for the spells are really low, but hopefully this guide will make it easier for you if you're soloing or if you're in a team. So for this video, I'll be soloing just because it's fun and stuff. And without further ado, I'll show you my deck. Actually, wait, I'm gonna make my deck with you guys. So, first off, assuming you're already level 65, you'll be able to have some of the spells I have in here. And one of these spells includes Colossal. Now, Colossal is really good if you want to boost up your attacks so they do more damage. Now, the thing about death is you probably noticed if you Colossal a death steal health attack, a ghoul or a vampire or something, it'll boost less, like it won't increase the damage as much as it would a normal attack. That's probably because it gives you back some of the health. Otherwise, it'd be kind of OP if it added 275 damage to like ghoul, for instance, and it suddenly did like over 400 or yeah, that'd be really strong. So they lowered the amount that it boosts. So it's really important to get them in though, because it still boosts quite a bit. Another card we really need is Gargantuan. So I put in 5 of these. So full Colossal and 5 Gargantuan. That's really it for the sun spells. I mean, the other ones you don't really need, because monstrous I never go with, because I mean it's not really that good. I mean, I really stick to Gargantuan and Colossal most of the time. You don't need any of the others, and you don't really need to pierce. So if you've gone with the other ones, unstoppable and those ones, the accuracy and pierce ones, you don't really need them, because the Loremaster, well, there aren't many shields. I mean, the Font of Weakness casts a few shields, but not many, and you can't really pierce weaknesses and plague. So another thing you might want, you definitely need to critical. Critical is crucial if you want to beat the fonts in one hit. You need to critical. I mean, I don't know many moves that would kill them without critical, except maybe for like Tempest or Stormlord or Sirens or something. So I put in full Vengeance, and I don't put any other star spells in because we don't really need them. No polymorphs, obviously, so that's it for the astral spells. Let's go in for the death spells. Now, I'm going to put in, let's say, I don't know, 5 Death Blades. Death Blade's useful, but it's not needed, really. You can get around without them. I'll put in 2 infections just for the Font of Life if I don't manage to kill them, to kill the fonts, if I don't critical my Scarecrow. I want infection in there just in case I get it and I don't kill, and the Font of Life might satyr one of them, especially the Font of Weakness. That would get me just so frustrated. So I put in a few infections. Same with Doom, same reason. I put in 3, or actually 2. 2 is fine. Now for the attack. Actually, wait. Before the attacks, we're actually going to put in a few Strangles. Strangle is really good, especially in the Loremaster fights. So I put in all of them, all 8 of them, because the Font of Weakness loves to use Plague and Infection and Virulent Plague. And if you look at Plague, it does -20 to all allies, which isn't to all enemies really. It's not that bad, but if you look at Virulent Plague, -40 to all enemies. In my case, it would be allies. That's really annoying. So the dispels are there for that. It's not really to dispel Dear Knight or Lord Knight. I mean, those you can easily survive unless like you're farming on a level 10 or something. Then yeah, dispel Link Dear Knight might be useful because he loves to use Dear Knight, like, and casts it almost every fight. But unless you're like level 10 or 12, or like if you're below level 30, okay, fine, you might want a weakness and dispel some of the Loremaster's attacks. Else, you can survive her attacks easily, and therefore I would just keep the dispels for the fonts. So I'm gonna put in a few ghouls, so let's say 4, because the ghoul actually can do good damage if you have Colossal and you crit, or if you have a blade. It actually does decent damage, so it's only 2 pips, so it's really useful. 1 power pip. Let's leave the Banshees out. Let's put in lots and lots of vampires. I'm gonna put in 7, because vampire is really good. Poison, because I like vampire really because it gives you some health back, and with Colossal it does, I believe, 533, so it's actually pretty good. And it's only 4 pips as opposed to Wraith, which is 6 pips. So Wraith is technically better, but it's since it's 6 pips, I mean it takes longer to load and it's just not as useful. Like when you're farming a boss and you're high level, it's better if you spam cards rather than just hitting strong cards, because I mean yeah, it's just easier that way. So I'm gonna put in 4 poisons and 4 pirates. Actually, I'm gonna take away 1 pirate. So 3 pirates and 4 poisons. Poison is good if there's a death shield on any of them, and pirate's good because it deals massive damage. When you have colossal and a blade and you crit, it just does massive. So, and then we're gonna go with Scarecrow, because Scarecrow, let's put in full, because it's really, really useful. So that's Scarecrow. What else can we add in here? Because the deck's not full yet. Oh, yeah, Feint. Feint, definitely. Let's put in 4. Feint is really useful, because it's kind of needed if you want to kill the Loremaster at the same time as the fonts. Feint is useful. Now, if you're over level 75, I would suggest using Malduit, the minion. It's actually one of the good minions, because, well, it uses Deer Knight, Lord of Night, Scarecrow, and it starts with 5 pips, so it's actually a decent minion. And she gets a damage boost, too. She gets a 30% damage boost, I believe. So Malduit is definitely a good pick if you really are thinking that you might not win. Just go with Malduit. Yeah, that's our deck. I guess that could work. Now, for treasure cards, I just suggest carrying nothing but Cleanse Charm or Enchant if you're a lower level. Cleanse Charm is really useful for the weaknesses if you don't get a wand, or if you have blades on and you don't want a ghoul because it'll use your blades. So yeah, cleanse is important. Now, as for the gear, I would suggest not using a wand with a death attack, or any attack that's your school, depending on if you're death or not. I would go with the Sight Staff if you have one. Like, I got one from Mirror Lake in Zafaria. The Sight Staff really is good because it gives you accuracy, power pips, and it also gives you a myth attack, which is good, unless you're myth. So you can get the weaknesses off really easily. It gives 5 of them, so it's not bad at all. Any other things that I could recommend? So yeah. Okay, so the deck, I pick usually this deck, but this is my PvP deck. It so happens to be. So, 8 death spells and 6 other spells, and 64 total spells. So these decks are essentially the same, except for the sideboard, which is a little bit bigger on the 75 one. It's essentially the same. So we've got that. We've got our stats here. So I'm level 77, but this gear is really available to level 60s. I mean, it's just to level 65. Sorry. It's basically just hangman gear. So from the waterworks, and here I just have the only thing I have that's above level 60 is the Sir Mallory's seal, which gives 9% death damage. You can get one for level 56 that gives 7% death damage, so it's not bad. You'll still have 70% damage. The crit's not good, so you definitely need to have that vengeance up if you're counting on critting. And yeah, so basically that's the stats, and let's just change rooms so these guys don't join, because we're playing it solo here. Go to Orthrus, whatever. Okay, so there you have it, Death's Guide to the Loremaster. I didn't get any cards, as expected, because like it's really, really rare. And thanks for watching. If